Well, happy Homebrew Wednesday. No, hang on. It's been a while since I've done this.
Oh, that wonderful brew known as Finney's Homebrew. The people up yonder are trying it too. With their feathers all ruffled and the halos askew. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Finney's Homebrew. Oh, that wonderful brew.
Cheers and happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. It's Finney here from Emporium Brewing. And I've had a bit of a hiatus by the looks of it. So, yeah, a lot's happened since I last posted. So, as some of you know, I live in Kaikoura now, which is on the east coast of New Zealand. And on the 14th of November at midnight, we had a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit about 20-30 kilometers from here, inland. So, apparently it was one of 10 slips that went during that day, so it was a constant, rumbling for about 2 minutes, a very, very strong movement. So I did take a little bit of footage when we first came back into here, so check out that footage. So the kegerator survived, and the fermenter actually survived. But see that blank wall? That was where all my homebrew stuff was, and it's not a pretty picture. There's been some losses. I don't dare look to see if all the nice Russian River stuff's dead, but... Oh! We're gonna be alright, I think. But... oh, where do you even start picking this all up? I think all my sour beers are alright. Oh, one's lost an airlock. Have to get that sorted at some point today. And it stinks a bit.
But there was no tsunami.
But there wasn't.
It's always a bonus.
Right.
Yet.
And I think my golf clubs are alright, even though they're under a load of shit. Yep, they'll be alright. The mill made it. The malt made it.
All our boxes that say fragile glass. Oh, look, that's Spiegelau glass box.
Oh no.
Do you think they've survived?
No. They're fragile at the best of times, those things. Yeah, so as you can see, there was quite a lot of damage. But out on the mini golf course, the back part of it backs onto a creek. And so we got a lot of the plinths and everything stayed together, but they sort of moved towards the creek a wee bit, so I opened up a load of trenches. And we got some footage of that as well, so go and have a look.
Yeah. So there's this massive crack. It goes pretty deep. See, those rocks used to meet. Now there's a big gap between them. So,
yeah, so since then, we've had the insurance assessor around and all the rest of it. I've decided to fix this ourselves because the insurance excess is ridiculous. That's another story for another time. So as of 2 days ago, on Tuesday, We, thanks to Laura's mum and dad and Laura, those trenches are filled and everything's back up and running. So we've even added a new feature in to our second hole. So I don't know if you follow the Quakes from around the world, but there was, if you Google Quake cows, you'll see some footage of 3 cows that were stranded on this, I guess, earth island. Basically the whole hillside where they were stood just disintegrated. But this teeny tiny patch of land was big enough for 3 cows, and they stood on it and managed to ride out the Quake, which is amazing footage. And so on our second hole, we had a little sort of concrete mould thing that was pretty naff. So Laura's redecorated that, and now we've got the 3 cows immortalised on our mini golf course. So there's actually a bit of footage. I'll try and get a bit of footage inserted so you can see. Basically, we did a flyby of ours like the helicopter did a flyby of the original. So that was pretty cool. Hopefully I'll be able to slot it in right there. So, but outside of all that, the roads are open. Kaikoura is pretty much back open for business. We just need the people to start coming down the road. So the roads opened up pretty much properly this week. So fingers crossed. You know, we've had 10 people down playing the mini golf course today. We've sold some beer. So if that can carry on, we're good and gravy. But for the time being, we just don't know what's going to happen day to day at the moment. Still got to get over that hurdle of people's perceptions of the area and knowing that the roads are open and all that stuff. So yeah, apart from that, from a brewing point of view, what I'm drinking is my International Brew Day beer, my Old Peculiar. So I've not tasted Old Peculiar before, and when I looked on the website, it looked more like an English bitter rather than the recipe I saw seemed to be more bordering like a porterish recipe, like a light porter. So I did a little bit of jiggling around with the malts and all the rest of it, but as you can see, it's looking good, and it's nice. I think there's a slight fermentation fault in there, which is my bad. But it's light on the bittering. It's got real toffee, caramelly notes on the nose. I get a little bit of that chocolatiness coming through from the light chocolate that we used in it. Oh, excuse me, I've got a really itchy nose. But overall, it's very, very easy drinking beer. A little bit, probably slightly higher in alcohol than I'd like, but yeah. So if you're watching, Paul, cheers, buddy. This one's for you. I know a lot of the guys had a lot of fun on that day doing their live broadcasts and what have you, and you're greatly missed. So cheers to you, brother. So a downfall of the earthquake is that we don't have proper water mains back on yet. We're still under conservation of water, and we have to boil all our water, but thankfully, brewing doesn't matter. But I have managed to do 1 batch of beer to keep me going, and basically all the water, I did a fast chill. I basically just ran it through and out and into the fermenter and let the fridge do the rest of the chilling, and then kept the water for the next batch of beer. So I've got to brew a commercial batch, like just a 50 litre, for the Great Kiwi Beer Festival, because we're going to have the Great Kiwi Beer Festival Homebrew competition that we held last year. We've got to rebrew the winning beer of that to be on at the festival. So I've got to do that tomorrow. I think I'm going to be doing that, because it's 5 weeks away now from the event, so it needs to get working. So that would be good. And we'll have that on at the Sober tent. So if you're watching and you're in Christchurch or New Zealand and you're going to the event, the Sober Society of Beer Advocates are having a tent, and there'll be a few beers being poured there, and there'll be some talks along the day. I'm not sure what the guest list is looking like, but I think Richard Emerson's doing something, I'm doing something, Hamish from Concept Brewing is possibly doing something as well, so there'll be a few variable and interesting talks, so definitely something to go along to and watch. What else has happened? NHC, yeah, the National Homebrew Competition. Well done, Dan Versteeg, which is Laser Brew. He got some very good results. He did really, really well. He was yeah, he wasn't far off champion brewer. He would have been in the top 3. So well done, bro. There's some really good beers in there, and some difficult styles that you seem to have nailed, which is awesome. It shows you're doing the right things as a brewer. I myself managed to get a couple of silvers and a bronze. Had a bit of a cock up with one of my beers. I had a Breathitt Stout that I sent in, and I don't know what happened, but so the website where you input all your information, I'd written about the beer on there, but whatever I wrote didn't get to the judging table. So it still scored a 40, still scored a silver, and they got marked down because they had nothing to compare it to. They didn't know what to compare it to. So a bit gutted, because I got a message from one of the stewards who had been at that table, and he said it would have been very close to being, a gold and higher. But them's are the breaks, I guess. It's a bit of a shame. But Laura did well. Laura got a silver for her Weizenbock. I got a silver for my sessionable Breathitt Berliner Weiss, which is it's only 2%. But that one did really nicely. Unfortunately, the last 2 bottles that I had of that went in the Quake, which is a shame. And then my Breathitt Saison, I think that was just like a mid-20s. But they said it didn't have enough not enough saison character. So I've got to work on the saison part of that beer. Rather stupidly, when I did that beer, I didn't bottle any of just the saison up, and so I didn't have anything to compare it to. But it's still a very nice drinking beer. But yeah, just not quite in the style for that one. And then the Imperial Stout, which I did, that you all watched me brew. I think it scored mid-20s. I can't remember the things off the top of my head. And apparently it was too rich for being an Imperial Stout, which is a bit odd. But I think the molasses has overpowered the beer a little bit. Well, what can you do? But it's still, again, that's still a very drinkable beer as well. Just not in the style guidelines or whatever. So yeah, we've scored. Between us, we got 3 silver and a bronze, so that was pretty cool. Oliver Drake, one of our local homebrew guys, he did really well. He's going commercial, so he marked himself as a commercial brewer. Otherwise, he'd have been very, very close to being the champion brewer. I think he was, before deductions, he'd have been like 1 point off the other guy. But from the life of me, I can't remember the guy who won its name, but I know he's from Dunedin, so well done to, I think it's Daniel. Sorry, mate. Well done. And our other local brewer, Paul Fraser, managed to score the champion lager with his smoked something or other. So well done, Paul. Really cool to see. The South Island was taking out, all the top beers again, which is good. Good to see. So cheers, guys. Well done. I'll try and wrap this up pretty sweet. The Emporium Brewing front. At the moment, we're just trying to get stuff sorted so we can go to the bank and get quotes, so we can go to the bank or go to investors and say we need X amount of dollars so we can build this, this, and this, and this. So I hope early next year we can get into a space where we can have the chiller done, up and ready, because that'll mean we can start bottling beers and holding a bit more stock here for the local market. And getting, concrete laid and walls built and all that sort of fun stuff. So from a brewery point of view, we've been put back a bit with all this earthquake. But hopefully we can get into that in the new year. We've brewed a beer, we've rebrewed Enigmatic, but with the signature hop, Enigma was unavailable because of bad crops last year. So we've gone with Waimea on the dry hop, so it'll be interesting to see what that does to the beer, but it does now make it a fully New Zealand beer. So it's New Zealand malt and New Zealand hop. So we'll see what it tastes like. We should get a keg of it next week at some point. Then we've just released a beer called Citramatic, which is an American pale ale. So it's a little bit higher in ABV and full of Citra and Amarillo hops. I still think it needs one more hop in the taste part of it. So something like a Centennial or Cascade, just to fill out. You know, if you think of, I always try to talk about high notes and low notes to people with hops. So if you think Citra, Amarillo, they're all those high notes, the punchy notes. There's nothing. We don't have any low notes to fill out that taste part of it. So it may be something like a Cascade, or even something a bit more traditional like a Chinook, or something that's a bit more gruntier in the taste. That'll just fill out that middle part nicely. But everything else part of it, really nice, loving. You know, it gets a very good feedback on Untapped as well, which is awesome. And our next beer that will launch, which will be next month, is called Run for the Hills. So on Earthquake Day, because of the tsunami threat being so close to the ocean, you know, I could probably hit a golf ball over this thing next to me, it'll land in the sea. So we all had to get up to high ground as fast as we could. So just taking from that, Run for the Hills seemed quite apt. So that is a New Zealand / American IPA. So it's designed to be more of that piney notes. So that's in the fermenter at the moment. I think it's transferring to Bright Tank as soon as our current beer, Enigmatic, gets kegged up. I think that will go in on top. So looking forward to trying that one. And in the new year, we'll hopefully start. You know, we need to get a Pilsner. I really think we need to get a Pilsner. But I've been doing some test batching, but unfortunately, because all the power went and everything, the ferments on the test batches weren't quite as good. So we'll see how they come through. But the other one we did when we were out of Kaikoura, just getting away from the Quakes, we ended up in Oamaru with Craftworks. And if you don't know who Craftworks are, look them up. They've got some amazing beers. They very much focus on Belgian styles and Breathitt Stout and all that sort of stuff. Their Dark Lord is it's awesome. It's quadruple, and it's a beautiful beer. And then if you get a chance to try their cherried red bonnet, that again, it's a Flanders red style beer that's been aged on sour cherries, and it's beautiful, so good. But we ended up there brewing a beer, a Belgian pale ale called Full Circle. So when I first started homebrewing, Oamaru is where I bought my homebrew kit, and so it seemed apt to come back full circle and brewed a commercial beer there. So that should be available, I think, in around end of January, February time. So we'll just have a bit of time to condition it. So that's exciting as well. So at some point we'll do a batch here as well and get it out to the masses. But I think I've taken up plenty enough of your time now, so I apologise for the long video. Cheers everyone. I think I'll do one more video before the end of the year just to wrap up, you know, the year and what we've all done. And then, yeah, into 2017 and all that brings. So should be another exciting year from a homebrew point of view. We've got the SJ Pour to finish off, and from a brewery point of view, hopefully those first steps towards making our own beer here on site. So cheers, have a good Christmas, look after yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Take care, bye.